Hello all, it's Friday. Welcome to my live stream channel. I was having problems with my Logitech webcam. It didn't want to come on earlier, so I was messing with it trying to get it to come on. You all know on Fridays is story time. And I'm going to start doing my live streams on Monday and Fridays unless it's a certain holiday. Then I'll make up for Monday on a Tuesday. So that's why I haven't been on the rest of the week, because I start doing live stream on Monday and Fridays, you all. You decide if you want me to go back to read story time on Keeper or get back to Wink, Poppy, and Midnight. You all know this is a twisted story. It has a hero, a villain, a liar, and who's who in this story. You really have to pay attention. And you also have to pay attention to this story. And if you haven't ordered any copy, I advise you to order your copies. And let me know when you do decide to order the copies of either one of those books. We're going to sit here and wait a little bit and give time for people to come in. If you click on that bell and you subscribe me, you should have no problems finding me. You can find me on my playlist. You can find me on my channel. So we're going to sit here and wait till more people comes in. I was really getting frustrated thinking my camera broke because it would not load. I'd go back actually to where it's saved to, and under my launch pad to see if it helped reset it. Normally it resets it, but it would just not come on for nothing. So I finally got it to work. I set it, happened to sit it down on the floor, and it comes on. It's weird. I guess it's got a mind of its own. But my goal was to get a more better advanced camera, like all you all have. I have the tripod, the stand, but I don't have that actual type of camera. And if you all have any tips on the cheapest route I can go to where I can do different contents in one setting on one video going live, you all comment and let me know. And hope you all's Friday morning's going great and smooth for you all. You're doing something that's educational, it's inspiring, and it's helping one another. Getting much better with my iPhone. Starting to get the hang of it. It's kind of slow. I was trying to do an upload. I did another story, an upload, but I kind of canceled it because it was taking too long. My phone's not completely charged, so I'm going to have to get it charged up in a little bit. So I'm just waiting for you all to come on in. Make sure you hit the like button and stay a while. It's a little earlier than usual, but I had to get on a little bit earlier because technically yesterday was my partner's son's last day of school. He decided to go again today because all his friends wants to tell him goodbye. They all wanted him to show up, and he's only going for a half a day. So I want to get this done before he gets home. As you all know, it's kind of hard to do live streams with that when people are around. It causes a lot of distractions. So I'm just going to sit here and wait till you all come on in. Come on in and show the love and hit the like button. Comment. There's nothing but a hello. Make sure you comment when you come in. And if you like what you viewed so far on my channel, feel free to subscribe me. We all like more subscribers. I want to get up there to that 1,000 mark. Hello, who just come in. Make sure you hit the like button when you come in. This is story time. You all get to decide if I should get back on Keeper or go back to Wink and Poppy and Midnight. Hurry back. You take a peek and then you leave. Come on back. That's not helping. Taking a peek and leaving. Make sure you come in, hit the like button. And speak a few words. Comment a hello. Would be great. Maybe you all having internet trouble. A lot of people's having internet problems lately. Mine works when it wants to. I was having internet problems earlier this morning. Hurry back. Just waiting. You all come on in, and you all welcome to my channel. As long as you're not rude, you're nice, polite, you're welcome here. And you speak English. I don't know all those different languages, If you know English, make sure you speak in English so I can understand what you're saying. And remember, magic always leaves a mark. This was by the author Kim Chance. I've mentioned her a lot. This is a great book. We're getting on through with it. And Keeper will be on chapter 6 on Josephine. This is where we left off and stopped at. On Poppy, there's no chapters. It switches to different characters in Wink and Poppy Midnight. We're on page 23 on that. This is where we left off on Wink and Poppy Midnight. Have it marked. Now, I read further on, and this is where I'm at, just with Joy reading. But this is where we left off last. I like to get caught up and get more this book read as well. It's awesome. I can't seem to put it down. This one I read more when I do story time and go live. It's a little bit deeper. More dark, twisted, and deeper. So you all decide. Get back on Wink and Poppy Midnight or continue on with Keeper. Which one's the favorite story you all like? You comment and let me know below. And if you haven't ordered you a copy yet, make sure you get you a copy. Both books are either or, you pick. This is the newest one. This is kind of older. I bought this at the Dollar Tree store. It's still good. They're both science, young adult fiction. And the older adults can read it. If they like science fiction, they can read it. Let's do a little warm up on Wink and Poppy Midnight. That is a thief, Wink said, pointing one of her short, freckled fingers at the boy. He fights and kills the thing in the with the sword his father left him. She tapped her fingertip on the page. See his brown curly hair and his sad blue eyes? You look like him. I glanced at the illustration again and then back at Wink. Thanks, I said, though I wasn't sure it was a compliment. She nodded kind of gravely and put the book back in her deep pocket. Have you read The Thing in the Deep? I shook my head. I've read it to the orphans many times. The orphans is what I call all my sisters and brothers, because there are so many of them and because we don't have a father anymore. We do have a mother, so they're not real orphans, but she is always busy reading people's leaves and cards, and we're left to ourselves mostly. Wink paused. That's why you'll see a lot of strange cars in our driveway. A strange car means someone is here, and she's reading their cards. Wink paused again. She was in no hurry. Mim read my leaves, and she said you and I were going to have a story together. I was wondering if our story was going to be like The Thing in the Deep, because you look like thief or theft. You look like theft. Wink took a big breath, let it out, put her hands in her pockets, and stopped talking. A breeze floated by and lifted her thick hair off her shoulders. After a long speech, she now seemed content to just let us stand in silence. I didn't quite know how to talk to Wink yet. That would come later, but I already found her sort of relaxing. The seconds ticked by, and I listened to the trickling of the creek down by the apple orchard and the rustling sounds of my dad unpacking inside. I felt my shoulders ease downward and my posture soften. Being with Wink was somehow like being alone, except not, well, lonely. And eventually I realized that the reason I felt so peaceful was because Wink wasn't taking stock. She wasn't trying to figure out if I was sexy or cool or funny or popular. She just stood in front of me and let me keep on being whoever I really was. And no one had ever done that for me before except maybe my parents and Alabama. So what happens in the book? I asked after a few minutes of breezes and curly hair and overalls and not judging and soft, peaceful quiet. What happens to Thief? There's no there's a monster in the shape of a beautiful woman. She kills people, children, old people, everyone. She tries to kill the girl that Thief loves. He fights the monster and he kills her because he's the hero. There is a great victory and a desert into darkness. There are clues and riddles to solve and trials of strength and wit. There's redemption and consequences and ever after. I read a lot of books too, more than I let anyone know except my dad. I read a lot in the last year, especially my days have been shuffling from class to class, driving all my damn friends away with my mood swings and my nonstop poppy this and poppy that, spewing and my love, 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 always my love for this blonde-haired girl who sometimes held my hand between classes and sometimes kissed me on the lips when people weren't looking, but mostly ignored me, leaving me falling behind, calling her name and her refusing to turn around. But my nights, the ones where Poppy didn't knock on my windows, were spent with my books. I read a lot of science fiction, way more high dragon fantasy than is probably good for a person. I read the classics like Dickens and Animal Farm and Where the Red Fern Grows. I even read some historical romance and some murder mysteries and horse and gun westerns. I didn't care. I read it all. Alabama was basketball and cross country and leaning on things and jumping off things and all the girls liking him. So Alabama is a male. Wink is a and Poppy's a female. I think Wink is a female. See, sometimes the characters, when they jump back and forth, they can throw you off and confuse you. But I was the reader brother who liked to swim in rivers and hike in the rain and sit under the stars, but never ever played organized sports. And I suppose I was all right with this. Wink and I kept staring at each other. She was running this conversation. I let her call the shots. She turned. She turned and looked down at the books in the box I'd been carrying, so I got a chance to notice the soft-looking batch of freckles on her inner arm. And how small her nose was, like it belonged on a doll, and her short, stubby, faded red eyelashes, and her pointed chin. My dad walked by us at one point, tall, thick brown hair, wired rimmed glasses, easy, soft stride. He liked to run when he wasn't reading or selling rare books to people in faraway places, and his running meant he moved like a cat. He reached in and got a lamp from the moving van, strode quietly back, smiled, and carried the lamp inside, letting us get on with our with our silence. Midnight, a girl's voice shredded the breezy stillness. I jerked my head toward the sound. Poppy. She was standing at the edge of the woods on the other side of the lane, at the edge of the Bell's rambling farm. I guess 2 miles wasn't far enough after all. Damn. Poppy passed by the red barn, the 4 bell outbuildings in their old farmhouse, with its red slouchy roof and tall windows with black shutters. She crossed the road that was really just gravel and weeds, moving between our 4 bright green apple trees, walked up the wooden porch steps, and stood in front of Wink as if she weren't there. She was wearing a white loose dress that still managed to hug her body in a way that whispered, I paid too much for this. Poppy was the spoiled only child of 2 busy doctors who raked in money from the snowboarding celebrities with a death wish that bombarded Broken Bridge every winter. Her house was one of the biggest around, including the endless second homes owned by film stars and Asian musicians. She ran her hand through her hair and smiled at me. Do you know how long it took me to walk here? I can't believe I bothered. I didn't look at her. I watched Wink walk down the steps, turn, and go back to her farm across the road without another word, quiet as a nap in the sun. My parents won't get me another car until I graduate. Poppy squeezed her perfect lips into a pout obvious to Wink's departure, as if she were a ghost. Just because I took the new Lexus without asking, then totaled it by the bridge. Damn, they should have expected that. I ignored her. I stared off at the Bell farmyard, distracted by a bit of green and brown and red that was climbing a ladder attached to the big barn that stood off to the right of the white, ramshackle farmhouse. Wink disappeared into the dark square of the hayloft opening. I'd known Wink all my life, but really, for all practical purposes, I'd only just met her. Poppy snapped her fingers in my face, and my eyes clicked back on her. She looked annoyed and beautiful as usual, but I wasn't really noticing for once. I was wondering what Wink was going to do up in that hayloft. I wondered if she was going to reread The Thing in the Deep to the orphans. I wondered what it was going to be like living next to a girl like that instead of a girl like Poppy. I suddenly wished with my whole damn heart that I'd always lived in this old house across the road from Wink and the orphans. Midnight, midnight, midnight. Poppy was saying my name over and over in the drippy, sweet voice that had once set me on fire and now just made me feel cold. I yanked myself out of the peaceful, surreal feeling that Wink had cast and finally focused on the girl in front of me. Go home, Poppy. I believe he's losing feelings for Poppy. His feelings is kind of turning toward Wink now. What do y'all think of that? Poppy blinked her tart gray eyes, slowly played with expensive pockets on her expensive dress, and smiled at me, her gentle, sad smile that with very little effort she could make seem sincere. We're not over, Midnight. We're not over until I say we're over. A little bit stalking? Obsessed much with Midnight? I couldn't even look at her. The peaceful Wink feeling was gone now, entirely gone. All I felt was anger. And machellantly, Poppy reached up and put her hand on my cheek, her eyes hooked into my skin and pulled my face down toward hers like a fish on a line. I followed her, but not nearly as hard as I wanted to. Poppy was used to getting what she wanted. That was the thing about Poppy. She won. She always won. Leaf didn't talk in school. He didn't stand around and yak about boy things with other stupid boys. None of the Bell kids talked, really, which is one of the things that made them so weird. Leaf was eerie and still and quiet, and he always looked bemused or angry. And when he didn't look bemused or angry, he looked blank and distant and removed, like he wasn't seeing anything or anyone else around him at all. Bridget Rise was a pants peer. Her older brother had been a pants peer too. I guess it ran in the family, a genetic pants peering gene, like having bad eyesight or dry skin or thin hair, something that evolution should have bred it out. Darwin style, the last time Bridget peed her pants was at recess in third grade. Some of the kids called her gross and started throwing the dirt at her, little tight handfuls of it that got in her hair and down her shirt. I might have thrown some of the dirt. I might have given the other kids the idea. Bridget was crying, sobbing, and then out of nowhere, Leaf was there. He was 11 or 12, but he had the temper even then. He picked Bridget up, soaked jeans and dirt and everything, and carried her into the school. And then he came back outside and kicked the shit out of every last one of us, everyone, with dirt on their hands. Literally, me included. He shoved my face into the ground, right into the mud I've been throwing, and told me that if I teased Bridget again, he'd break my nose. He meant it. We all knew he meant it, and when I forgot anyway and called Bridget, the tinker 2 weeks later at lunchtime, Lee found me after school. One hand, one punch, that's all it took. My eyes crossing as his fist hit my face. Crack, snap, blood, and scream. My nose was still crooked from it. Even my doctor's parents couldn't fix it. Not perfectly. Midnight said it made me even more beautiful, the tiny imperfection. But he read poetry and his mind was soft like his heart. I stopped listening to him years ago. I didn't let Lee's laughter deter me that day in the hayloft. I was confused because I never lost at anything before, but I was high on the challenge, and I wanted to try something for once, really try. That's how I felt at first. The day I turned 16, I walked up to Lee between classes, and I leaned my body against his gray locker. Back arched, I was wearing the shortest skirt I owned, the one that made my legs look 10 feet long. The one that made Briggs start drooling at Zoe's party the other night. He actually drooled and had to wipe his mouth with his hand. I left my bra sitting on my bed, and I knew my nipples were showing through my black slub tee. "Hi, Leaf," I said, using the low, breathy voice that brought boys to their knees. And he looked at me, not with lust or craving or greed. He looked at me in the same way I looked at the band nerds in their marching uniforms as they bumbled down the hall carrying their stupid shiny instruments. The same way I looked at the spineless boys in my class with their panting eagerness and pathetic overconfidence and wispy arms and spindly legs. "Move." That's all Lee said. He stood there, tall, skinny, and red-haired, and barely caring, and all he said was, "Move." I never cried, not even as a baby. My parents said it was because I was such a sweet little angel, but my parents are fools. I never cried because there are only two reasons people cry. One is empathy, and the other is self-pity. And I never had any of either. I cried over that move, though. I cried, and cried. So that's just a little warm-up to give you a taste again what Wink and Poppy Midnight's about. And again, if you want me to go back to going back where I left off on this, you have to decide and you comment. Still waiting on people to come in. Looks like it's going to be a while. It's kind of early than what I've been doing. But like I said, my partner's son, really his last day was yesterday, but everybody wanted to show up today. So, and yesterday and today he's getting out only half a day. So far I've been on 24 minutes and 24 seconds. Y'all, like I said, repeat, y'all come on in, say hello, and make sure you hit the like button. And stay at least 10 minutes to my videos where I get the most watch time credits. And I'll do the same for you all. Y'all come in, get acquainted, you all meet each other. Get to know each other. Some of you know each other on my live stream, my channel. Just talk away and stay. Don't go nowhere. Get to know each other a little bit. I think it's neat that we all come together. We learn from one another and we grow together like a YouTube family. And that's what I like to do. I like us all to learn from each other, getting acquaintance with each other. Go to each other's, catch each other when you catch them live stream. And you got to stay committed to all your subscribers. Because if you don't continue on, like and comment on their channel, they're not going to help support you. It's a win-win, no one can lose. You all know Fridays and Saturdays is my favorite day of the week. Hello there, how you doing? On Fridays, it's a story time. I don't know if you actually caught me on live or uploads, but the books I've been recently reading is Wink, Poppy, Midnight, and Keeper. You all decide which book you want me to read. Make sure you hit the like button as you come in. Make sure you hit that like button. Come back. Come back on. Are you still here? Francois, hurry back. Hello to you. Welcome to my channel. Stay tuned for more exciting projects coming your way. Well, they come in and said hello, and I guess they left or they got internet problems. I don't know. Make sure you hit that like button. So it ain't going to count till they hit the like button. But it shows in the feed. You all know what to do if you've been on YouTube a while and you got your own channel set up and you're going to watch other people live. You know to hit that like button and comment. Hello, RST Sonny. How you doing today? Today we're getting back either on Wink and Poppy Midnight or Keeper. You decide which one you want me to go back to, which one you was most interested in out of the story time. Wink, Poppy Midnight, or the Keeper. I'm letting you all pick the story today. How's your week going so far? Make sure you hit that like button when you come in. At least try to stay on the 10 minutes of my channel so it helps get in my watch time hours. I'm waiting on more people to come in. If you got people on your end that enjoy story time, send them away to my channel. And you can feel free to check out my playlist. I got a playlist set up. And if you like to add it and borrow some of my playlists, feel free to do so. I still think we're here to all grow together as a YouTube family. We all support each other. No one loses, everyone wins. Make sure you hit that like button. I'm waiting for more people to come in. Not enough people on right yet. And then we'll get started. I did a warm-up on the Wink and Poppy just to kill time, but I haven't decided which one is out of one of those two. But I did read a little bit on the Wink and Poppy Midnight. So you all decide which one you want me to start on today. Back to Keeper or Wink and Poppy at Midnight. I'm letting you viewers out there to decide. Because my channels, everything I do, I'm doing to impress all you all. It's not to impress me. It's to impress the viewers and my fans and my audiences. Thank you very much. I don't know what David or Wayne's doing. They're probably doing their own channel. They've been having internet problems this week, and I think they got it fixed yesterday. So hopefully he'll have him a live stream put up soon. He goes by the names T-shirt screen printing. I'm sure you all heard of him. And David White. But he don't do live streams. He comes and supports other people. But he does. Um, he's set up on AP, which is allportrait.com. I'm also set up, signed on. We got pieces of writings on there. You sign up, it's free. You all go check out our work and our pieces. I'm Sexy Blonde 124. His name is David White on there. Feel free to check it out when you get a chance. I guess we're going to start on until more people come in. I'm going to read more on Wink and Poppy and Midnight. This is a hero, a villain, a liar, and who's who. So they kind of switch around. There's no chapters in this book. It switches from the characters to give you an idea how this book operates here. We're on Wink. Revenge, justice, and love. Uh-oh, here we go. They are the three stories that all other stories are made up of. It is the trifecta. It's like if you're making soup for a bunch of orphans. You have to start with onions, celery, and carrots. You cut them up, you toss them in, and cook them down. Everything that comes after this is just other. It's just other. Stories are that way too. I told the hero about the orphans and the thing in the deep. I liked his eyes. Now we're back to Midnight. Poppy followed me through my new house, across the creaking hardwood floor, around jumbled up furniture under spider webs, over boxes, up the stairs, hands sliding over the smooth dark wood of the banister, down the narrow dark hallway to the high ceiling bedroom that I'd taken as my own, the last door on the left. There weren't sheets on the bed, but the frame and mattress were up. I stepped over two boxes and then moved around the room and opened all the windows. All four had faded yellow curtains that smelled like dust. I went back to the door and I closed it. Dad wouldn't bother me if my door was closed. He respected privacy. Privacy was like gold to him, as in worth its weight. He wanted it, and so he gave it to the others freely and without question. I had to push the door shut the last few inches so it would latch. This house seemed to be leaning on its side like an old woman with one hand on her hip, and it made everything off kilter. Later on, I would come to like it. Later on, I would hear the creaks and moans and feel welcome and comforted. Like the house was speaking to me in its own gasping, reeky voice. I would be able to tell where Dad was, down to which corner of the room, just by the series of pops and shudders and squeaks that echoed down to me, like the refrain of a song I knew by heart. But back then it was just an old house, 2 miles away from Poppy, across the road from the Bell farm. I turned around. Poppy stood in the dusty sunshine of my bedroom, wearing nothing but a thin white summer dress and the skin she was born in. How could something so soft and supple and flawless as Poppy's skin hide a heart as black as hers? How could it show none of what was underneath, not one trace? I read the picture of Dorian Gray. I wondered if Poppy had a painting of herself locked in an attic, a painting that was growing old and evil and ugly and rotten, while she stayed young and beautiful and rosy cheeked. I sat on the bare mattress with a sigh. Poppy crawled into my lap. She kissed my neck. Her hands were on my shoulders and chest, stomach, down, down, down. No, I whispered, and then louder, no. I picked up Poppy by her hips and moved her onto the bed beside me. Her dress was pushed up to her thighs, and she crossed her legs, looked up, and smiled. So never again? Is that it? You're done with me now? You moved out to this rat hole farmhouse and suddenly it's over? I met her eyes. Yes. She laughed, and it was hard and slick and cold, like chewing on ice. She got up from the bed and went to one of the two big windows on the east wall and faced the road and the Bell farm. You're going to be living next to her now. Poppy glanced at me over her shoulder, her eyes mean and sly. Farrell Bell, that should prove interesting for you. Don't call her that. I got up off the bed and joined her at the window. I looked past the three lilac bushes, past the old well, past the rope swing on the ancient oak tree. I passed the pine trees, past the fields of corn on the left that were rented out to the neighboring farm. I passed the apple orchard across the road. Our houses were close, even with the gravel lane between them. I could see everything. I saw chickens running around, following a rooster, and two goats in a white pen, and three kids playing with a dog, and another climbing the ladder of the red barn. I could hear shouts and laughter, and crowing and clucking and barking. I could even smell gingerbread in the oven. The dark, sweet, spicy smell drifted right over the road straight to my nose. It seemed so much nicer over there in Wink's world. Much, much nicer than being in the empty foreign bedroom with the red-blooded Poppy. Don't call her, don't call her what? Fernal. It's better than Wink. Wink is like something from a children's book. And then Wink and her pink horse, or Carmel, rode off to fairyland on a path made of clouds. Poppy was watching the farm closely, almost as if she'd forgotten I was there. Look at all those kids running around. Why should Wink get so many siblings while I have none? Lee said once I would have been a better person if only I'd had a sibling or two. He said I'd be less selfish by half, as if I Leaf. I said, Leaf Bell? You, you used to know him. Sorry about that. That's a little alarm we have set up to let me know when wild animals or people pull up in my yard. So I apologize for that little alarm there. It does it once in a while. People at school said he's down in the Amazon searching for a cure for cancer. They said he sleeps on the ground and eats nothing but nuts and berries, and he speaks their Mora language like a local. Shut up. Her eyes were back on mine. Just shut up, Midnight. She went to the door and opened it and left. Came back. She sidled up to me and put two fingertips on my heart and pressed. You and the Bell girl, you look good together. I said nothing, waiting for the punchline. I mean it. Midnight, you should get to know her better. She moved her fingers to my cheek and ran them down over my jawbone across my neck. Wink is weird and quiet, and so are you. You two should be friends. I flinched. What are you up to, Poppy? Nothing. I'm just trying to be a better person. I'm bored with being mean. Bored. So I'm attempting to improve myself. I'm setting you up with the weird girl across the road. I want you to be happy. No, you don't. You don't even know what the word means. But she just shrugged and laughed and left. Come on, you all. Come on in, hit that like button. And say a few words. Comment. So I'll know who you are when you come on. Now we're back to Poppy. I snuck over to the Bell farm once a few years ago, and I just watched the goings on from the shadow of the woods. I was there for a while, and they never even looked in my direction. Not any of them, like I was invisible, like I was a ghost. I had this idea that I'd catch Leaf off guard, and maybe a look would pass over his face, fleeting, but they're really there. And then I would know. I would know that he thought of me. He and Wink were outside with their siblings. They had a picnic and then played some game with a lot of hooting and hollering. And he was different with them, so different, especially the pretty brunette sister. He was rowdy and loud, and he laughed all the time. I never even heard of his laugh, not his real laugh anyway. And after a while, I started feeling bad about myself, standing alone in the woods while they all laughed and played together. And I'm Poppy. I never feel bad about myself, ever. So I went home and never did it again. The eighth time I followed Lee to the hayloft, I kissed him with my whole soul, all of me, all the bad parts and the good parts too. I kissed and I kissed him and kissed him. His thin straight nose, his freckled cheeks, his wide bony shoulders, his hard white torso, but his green eyes never even met mine, not once. So she got undressed. You know what happens from there. She got naked. I thought I would stun him with my stunning beauty, but he only shrugged his shoulders and said, I could be the spitting image of Helen, of Troy, for all he cared. I was still not worth the breath I breathed. His younger sister called out from somewhere in the yard, and he went down to her without another word. I cried while I put my clothes back on, fast, fast. The hay caught up in the creases and scratched me all the way home. But it felt good, like the nuns in their hair shirts, a punishment on the path to redemption. Now we're back to Wink. When the hero knocked on our old screen door at sunset, I thought he was coming to get his fortune told, like everyone else who came to our house. He came bearing one pink little wildflower in his hand, and he gave it to me when I opened the door. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just held it in my fist while he stood there looking pleasant and awkward like the ordinary farm boy before destiny knocks and he's forced to pick up the sword and take it to the road. I let him inside, and then, before I could change my mind, I asked him if he wanted to go for a walk in the forest. He looked out the windows at the setting sun and then said yes anyway. I planned to take him down the path that went right by the Roman Luck House. The Roman Luck House was full of bad things and sadness and unforgivables, but I wanted to see what would happen. Midnight waited in our kitchen while I got ready. The orphans surrounded him, asking him questions he didn't know how to answer, mostly about whether he'd seen the ghost of Lucy Rish yet in his house across the road, and if she threw apples at him, or if they fell right through her old ghostly hands. He smiled and didn't seem to mind all their asking. I put on a green cotton dress because the tree spirits like green. It had been Mim's dress when she was a girl, and had a white belt. There was only one little hole in the back where you could hardly see it. I forgot to brush my hair before we left, but I did remember to dust my arms and neck with powdered sugar. It made the mosquitoes come at you, but the night was blistery and I wasn't worried. Besides, the unforgivables will feed on you unless you give them something sweet. It distracts them, and they leave you alone mostly. And we're going to stop at this story on midnight. It's slow for people coming in, so you all come on in, and we might start on the keeper. I just love story time. If you're really drawn in and it shows interest, you're going to get in these stories. These are my two favorite books for story time of all times. And once you really get into it and you learn the difference between each character of this book is different. Poppy's mean and selfish and evil. Wink and Midnight and Leaf, they're good. Poppy's the jealous and selfish one. I think she's up to something. She's trying to get revenge. Maybe on Midnight and Wink. We'll just have to wait and see, because the title of it's something about Rusty and revenge. You all come on, come on. I've been on 45 minutes and 14 seconds so far. If you can stay at least to 10 minutes of my story time, that will help give credits on my watch time. You all know I think I got a lot of watch time hours in. I need more views and more subscribers. We're also here to grow, gain viewers, and gain subscribers. It's 10:43 a.m. my time. What time is it in your neck of the woods? I can honestly say, two friends of mine has been very loyal, supporting me, and I give them thumbs up for being so supportive. I have a lot of friends that don't like to go live. They just rather do uploads and thumbnails. But if you want to get watch time hours, you're going to have to take that leap of faith and go live. After you figure out what brand, what content you're doing, and what pops out, what draws people in, what gets their attention, how you hook them. You keep them hooked on your channel, you're doing good. I just love Kim Chance. I haven't watched her recently this week, but I'm always watching her videos. She's so much alive. She's doing other projects now. I think she's writing more fantasies. And she's just really um, making her way to the top. She's succeeding. I'm very proud of you, Kim Chance. Keep up the good work. And Gillian Perkins and Sunny Lewinsky, however you say her name. You ladies rock, and y'all are actually crushing your channel. Keep up the good work, ladies. And all of you that's out there growing, keep up the good work. And remember, always believe in yourself. Never stop trying. If something don't work, you try something else, and you just keep going. Keep that smile on your face, and you keep moving on. Practice makes perfect. And as I said, we're on chapter 6 as of now in Keeper on Josephine. This is my favorite book. Her theme is called Magic Always Leaves a Mark. If you have not, again, order you a copy. Make sure you all order you a copy of this book. It is amazing. And the author, again, is Kim Chance. Go check out her channel. You can find her on Instagram, Facebook, and also on YouTube. KimChance. Look her up, Kim Chance. And if you're a blogger, you just like to write and do certain things in nature or writing as a blogger, go check out Megan LaCory. She has her own channel up. She is a blogger and a blogger. I think she's both. And she's awesome as well. If any of y'all I left out and didn't give credit, I apologize. It's a lot of people trying to remember. And everybody that subscribed me, I give you all thumbs up. Keep trying and working hard. You will succeed, I promise you. You will succeed well. And a lot of people gets frustrated. It is frustrating when you go live and you don't get enough people to stay on, to listen to what you have to say. And even though you take time to listen to them, you just got to get their interest. You got to hook them on your channel. And if they stay the first 10 minutes of it, they're pretty hooked. There's something about your channel that they like. And you all know I'm a writer. I'm a storyteller. I'm going to be the author of my first finished rough draft book. They're still getting some Works and mistakes put in the works is being corrected. Stay tuned for more updates on my book, my rough draft book. It's just taking time getting people to view it because it's over 50 chapters. Some people says on my first time being writing my book, I should start out a shorter story. It's all about how you got your characters set up. Um, if there's heroes, there are villains in your stories, there are evil, there are murderers in your stories. A lot of people like mysteries. They like to read stuff of bad. A hero turning good and then they're turning bad. They want to see changes in your characters. You're putting the works out there. You're the writer. It's your job to form the personality the way you want them characters to be. If you're just writing pieces, just ordinary stories, you can do it the same way. On Mondays, we do discussions on Save the Cat Writes a Novel. Stay tuned for Mondays. I do live stream now on Mondays and Fridays. I made a change. And I hope you all enjoyed Wink and Poppy Midnight so far. I was hoping more people would come in and I'd start on The Keeper. I did a little bit of reading in both to try to give an idea of what taste you're in for. What type of generic books do you like? Is it romance? Is it memoirs? Is it biographies? Is it science fiction, fantasies? Is it thriller stories? This is for young adults like science fiction, these two books here. And I am a bookworm. I collect all kinds of books. And stay tuned. Next week I have a package coming from my best friend and his brother. It will be on the 7th, one day next week. Stay tuned because I'll be doing a mailbox unpackaging. Stay tuned for that. I hope you all had a great Friday. You're doing something uplifting to others. And you're being cheerful. You're not letting things drag you down. You're doing things that's lifting you up. This is how we grow in our lives. This is how we help our neighbors and our friends grow. If you're negative all the time, they're gonna pick up on it. They're not gonna want to go to your channel if you're negative. They want to see that smile on your face. They want to see that glow. I'm all about positivity. I'm all about trying to help people. You help me and I help you. And if you like coffee and tea, I'm now having tea time. I didn't have my 2 cups of coffee. Cheers. When talking and going live and doing story time, your throat and mouth gets very dry. I always make sure I got drink with me. Get all my materials with me before I go live. Make sure you all are still sticking to your goals and taking them notes when you need to. And in case you forgot what the name of this book is and you want to order a copy, it's called Wink, Poppy, Midnight. And the other book is called Keeper by Kim Chance. And this author's by April Genevieve Touchcloak. It's got the author down there if you can pronounce it. Make sure you all order you a copy. Which one of you? This has got the beautifulest more cover, but this is also a nice cover. They're both paperbacks. I love them both. They're my favorite ones. They're pleasure reading. Nothing educational about it. It's for people that has trouble understanding what they're reading. Sometimes reading out loud. It helps you improve on your comprehension. That might can be a struggle, something um, of a weak point in your life. You might have trouble reading, understanding what you're reading. And that's why I come about to do story times on Fridays. Just going to sit here nicely and wait a little bit more patient more. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to know that I'm going live. If you subscribe me and you click on that bell, you should be able to find me. I just hope you all having a great day so far. And if some of you don't know, I finally got me an iPhone 5S. I'm getting more acquaintance with it. I like it. Until I placed a battery. I got to place a battery in my other phone. I had this Motorola Droid Turbo 2. It needs a battery. So hopefully I can get me a battery for it very soon. And I just hope y'all are really enjoying your day like I am. I'm having a great day so far. And hope you all have a safe weekend. It's supposed to be a little bit cooler than what it was all week. Make sure you keep plenty of liquids in. Don't be in the heat if you don't have to be in it too long. And stay cool. Because really hot temperatures and hot humidity causes a lot of heat stroke. There's someone that dies from it or gets very sick every year. Now I'm having to charge my iPhone. It's at 47%. How many of you's got an iPhone? If you all got an iPhone, we can play and do some games like pool and cup pong, and you can play darts with it. You just let me know. You comment, let me know if you have an iPhone. And then you can also add me. This is my Motorola Turbo 2. Is the one I've actually been using for a while. Got a lot of notifications where it's been dead for so long. And I just try to keep it cleared up. It's still saying it's low. It went back to 30%. So it tells me it's my battery. It was saying it was charged, but now it's saying 30%. I don't understand that. It tells me my battery's bad. But it's a bigger phone. I've had it over a year and something months. Once I place a battery in it, it'll still be good like as new. I miss this phone. I really do enjoy it. I did a lot of live streams, a lot of uploads with this phone before the Article 13 passed, to where you can't go live unless you get over 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 watch time minutes. Once you pass that, you should be good to go on that. But it's probably going to die again. I don't understand that. Because it said it was like fully charged. It said it. So I'm going to come over here and plug it up again and see how it does. I don't know why, other than the battery's bad, why it needs to die like that. I'm going to charge it. You hear that blinging, blinging? That's a lot of notifications that got behind on there. If there's too many at once, it'll just shut it off. That's the way a Motorola Turbo 2 does. They have a 3 out now. They have a Motorola Turbo 2, a Motorola Max 2, and then they got the 3. My partner gets aggravated. He's got one too. His is white and mine's like a black sky gray. He gets aggravated with his iPhone. He gets really aggravated with it. He don't like them. Most people tell me Androids are way better than iPhones. What do y'all think? Between the iPhone and the Ant versus Android, which phone is better? Which one that lasts longer? Which one has the better battery quality, camera quality? I had Androids pretty much forever. I'm more familiar with them than the Apple. I do have a Mac computer, but I never had an iPhone phone. And I got mine on Mother's Day from my partner. He gave it to me for a Mother's Day gift. And no more people comes in. I guess this is about to be it. We'll just stick to Wink and Poppy midnight story time. I was hoping more people would come on. Because then that way, when more people's on, it's easier to do the story time. You don't have much of an audience, makes it hard for the reader to read and do story time there. So, there's only 2 people come in and got 1 like so far. Y'all come on in and hit that like button. Let's grow. Come on. Let's go. Let's get these likes up. I want to see a bunch of likes, a bunch of comments, a bunch of people filling up my live stream. I mean, I can go through my phone and it'll show that I'm to the public. But like I said, a lot of people's time zone is a little different. So far, just make sure you all hit that like button. You come in and comment below. Yes, Fridays are slow days for some of these. But you catch me do it. Hit the like button and comment. Well, I hope you all had a great Friday so far. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of story. I'm going to show the book of